Well, thank you all for coming. So I'm Ann Vogel, the owner of Dragon Tail Books, and I want to thank Christine Franklin for coming today and talking about her business, Just Breathe with a Horse, and equine therapy, and all the things you offer. So thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for letting me come and do this.
Yeah.
Good practice for me, but I just try and get the word out there. It's kind of, my business actually it's word of mouth, you know. Steve and Jody sharing it, and she brought her best friend, and it's just kind of gone, and then I've made the two best, greatest ladies ever, so long-term friendships. So, yes, well, welcome. I am Christine Franklin. My title is as an Equine Facilitator. I've done life coach certification through Barry Fowler Institute. He was the founder of the Siblin Institute, a learning center. Very helpful. And I've done access bars, and I learned Reiki from Master Jody over here. So, and I like to tie that in with in the presence of the horses, which I have done, and it is pretty awesome. So, these are three of my horses, actually. Well, two of mine, and the middle one is Marco. I have that. So those outside two are my horses. The middle one is Marco, and then there's a fourth one. You'll see a picture of her. Her name's Small. She's the youngest, but she's got the biggest britches of them all. And I use them all in my equine facilitated experiences. And they all are just amazing. Very amazing. They all have their own personalities and whatnot, but I'll go in more detail about them. So kind of a very important question is, you know, there's a lot of therapies out there, but, you know, what if healing didn't happen in an office? But in a field or in a barn or an arena, you know, we were just discussing with the horses how they're a special gift. God gave us a gift. That's why when it comes to them, it's different than talk therapy. It's and what happens when you're in the presence of a horse is almost unexplainable. You just look in their eyes and you just feel their sentient being, and they can see right through you. So, and I will say this now, and I will repeat it many times, you cannot lie to a horse. So, if you think you don't have the answers, you do. You really do. We all have the answers inside of us. It's just we got to work on it. We got to believe in ourselves. We got to work through some luck and whatever and build confidence in ourselves, and the horses help us do that. So this is the heart of Just Breathe with the Horse is what I want to do. I want to help people. So this is kind of the scene, what you can see the eyes of the horse. I mean, how relaxed and stress-free they are. They want to help us. They are here. They want to help us in all aspects. I mean, they're told to, you know, back centuries and centuries, they were our transportation. But they also, you hear stories. Of course, when you get on Instagram, Facebook, all these posts come up that you're related to and that you talk about. And some amazing stories of like generals in the war and stuff. And their horses were their best friends. They were closer to the horse than they were their wives, you know, and their colleagues. So. But this is a special moment. I do this myself whenever I'm stressed. I go out to my own corral, my own barn. I try to leave it at the gate, what I can, if I'm really stressed, and I walk in and they help me work through it. So my mission, kind of shortened it down, is Just Breathe with Horse harnesses the powerful bond between humans and horses to facilitate in its ground level. We don't do any writing, so it's all just ground level when you're working with the horses. A lot of people say, well, I've never been around a horse, or I'm afraid of horses, and I would never put anyone in a position that they're not comfortable in. If they just want to observe from the outside of the corral, because I have a round pen in my arena, that's plumb fine with me. You still get the benefit from it. So our unique approach uses the therapeutic power of horses to lower anxiety, enhance communication, reconnect with our inner strength, helps you with your confidence, your compassion, and you find your purpose. So I totally believe that my vision and the mission that I am on is what this world is needing. It's a different kind of therapy, and there is getting to be more and more therapy. So it's not just about being around the horse, it's about creating space where people feel safe, seen, and aligned and heard, and truly find who they are. Statistics. So there's problems out there. I mean, just everyone. And COVID really brought a lot of stuff out. And people were getting anxious and stressed. And, I mean, you couldn't go out and get your groceries. You couldn't worry about fuel. Everyone was worried about toilet paper. And it was just like, it was just crazy. So, and then it's changed. And I really feel it's really did a hindrance on the kids, school-aged kids, not just the juniors, seniors in high school. I felt so bad for them that couldn't even have their own graduation. I felt sorry for the young parents having babies. They couldn't even have their spouse. The husbands and the fathers couldn't even be in the same room with them for a while. I'm so thankful Amy Lou was a COVID baby, but she was January and she was able to have mom and dad both there. Right. So it's just, statistics are showing that people are craving real connection. Talk therapy is kind of, it's still there. It's still important. I do not belittle that whatsoever. There are professionals out there that know their stuff, and they know, if they need medicine. But you can do so much with reducing stress, building confidence. Like I said, repeat, improve communications, and grounding. Just be mindful and ground yourself, just like a horse. A horse is always present. Horses are prey animals. So they are in high alert, yes. But when they're with their herd and ones are doing their jobs, they are totally relaxed, stress-free, try and find the next blade of grass. So they trust themselves. So it's definitely, but I did some research on statistics with there was a huge rise in anxiety and depression. There's a lot of trauma out there with all individuals. And trauma isn't just the event that occurred. It also is when it's the trauma that builds in your body and stays with you because you haven't had time to process it. You haven't taken the time. You didn't know how to process it. It stays in our body. So every time you're triggered by something, it's like the trauma just builds. It's like, and you go back to that situation that caused it. So on horses, what I want to go into deeper, later I'll explain more about Gestalt, I want to help people work on that and bring it out and deal with the trauma and let it go. You won't forget it, but you can release it. And your body will thank you. Jody can definitely vouch for that when people are stressed. I mean, we literally hold stress and trauma as pain in our bodies. So this is a way of maybe we can help people release that. So they're saying approximately 10 to 25% of the mental health treatments is of counseling and therapy. All people. Well, that's a lot. You think about that. And I imagine that number has climbed after COVID. So, and now we're dealing with wars, other issues, politics. People allow that in their world. That stresses people out too. They were saying with veterans and active military personnel, there's an estimate of about 18 million who suffer PTSD. 18 million. And that's not talking their families. Their families go through all that stress too. So they are seeking all kinds of help. And there's been a lot of my herd mates, we call them, the ones that graduated through my Equine Facilitator program that I've done, or the Gestalt program. A lot of them, that's their niche. They actually are helping the veterans and victims in that aspect. It's amazing. Women, men, their families. So, and then there's 1 in 54 children are diagnosed with ADHD, OCC, and PTSD, anxiety, depression, and a lot of other mental health issues. I've got a few kids that come out and spend time with the horses, and they just love it. And Marco, the horse that you saw, the dark bay, he puts his head down and he just takes hugs. He loves it. I'll never forget the picture I took of Penny's granddaughter. It just touched my heart. It was pretty sweet. So that's the problem. So here's the solution. Taking some equine assisted experiences. So we provide distinctive hands-on experiences with the horses. Horses actually are like a mirror. it's not like they mimic us, but they mirror back to us what we feel. So reflecting the participant's emotional state through immediate non-judgmental. Horses don't judge you. They don't analyze you. They just give you space, and they try to make you feel mindful and give you the positive energy. So when you're with a horse, you're in the real time. You sit, as I call it. You stay in today. You stay in the moment. You stay present, just like a horse. You don't worry about yesterday. Don't worry about 5 months ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. You're not too worried about what's going to happen tomorrow. You just stay in today, and it's amazing what you do. You do some breathing, you be in the present with a horse. It's pretty nice.
So if they mirror your emotions and you're stressed, do they feel that stress?
They can.
But they
if
don't.
you have someone come into the arena and they are, well, as an example, say someone walked in the door here and they're running late and they were stressed and they just had an argument with the kids or their husband or something, and they walk in, we could be having our backs turned, and when they walk in, you may not even hear them, but you will feel it. You feel their energy. It's not saying it's negative, but it's busy and it's flustered and it's chaotic and it's just whirling like the Tasmanian devil. But if someone walked in here just joyous and happy, had great energy, you'd want to be drawn to it. You feel it. We all have a 5-foot barrier around us. It's our electromagnetic field. Horses are 5 times more. So if we're 5 to 8 feet, as they say, horses are 5 times more. That's 35 to 40 feet. That's a lot of times, like if you walked up to a pasture and that horse is out there grazing, if you're in a good place and you have good energy, they lift their head up. They may not even heard you. They do have very keen hearing, but they're drawn to you. It's kind of like this drawing magnet. They want to come to you. They like it. But if you're chaotic and you're just all over the place, and what they actually hear, remember the old radios that you used to have to use a dial? And it was just static? That's what they hear. So if someone walks in the round pen with a horse and they are just all static, that horse wants nothing to do with them. They will look at him, maybe smell him, check him out, because they're curious animals. They'll turn around and walk, and they'll go to the other side. Well, they got other things to look at, even if there's no grass around.
So you train, how then do they help you relieve it if they walk away from you?
First off is acknowledging that.
Okay.
And then I will see that. I watch the horse. The horses are my partners. I watch the horse and see how they react to that person. I probably would have felt that energy myself. I mean, any person normally would. But if I thought, well, they're kind of covering it up and I'm not sure what's going on. I'm learning a lot about chakras, because horses can read chakras. They can read where you're not quite, the flow isn't working. You might be stuck in your throat. Your communication, you might not be trusting your intuition. You're not feeling rooted and safe. There's all of it, your direction, your communication. So the horses will so I'm learning, and each horse has their own language. If they're going to tell me that person is stuck in their solar plexus or something, they may go stand right at that person's belly. They may put their head at that position, or they might just put, and the horses, I should have brought the diagram. The horses have their chakra spots too. They may just stand right in center of that person and put that part of their chakra right in front of their person. Like if they feel like it's their third eye or their crown, they'll just kind of pretty much put their head there. And that's pretty popular. That's something that you see a lot. So really watch that. When I do, I'll talk about the sound bath with the horses later, and it's pretty cool what the horses do and come in. So, yeah, they are very, very intuitive, very sentient animals. So, and again, you can't lie to a horse. So there's been many breakthroughs that has happened. I mean, just when you're in a presence and you are present, you start connecting, you start communicating, you start feeling, and you start believing. When your stress goes down, your cortisol goes down, you're less stressed, and you feel lighter. And the horse feels that. When you start changing and you're present, the horse feels that too. And again, I can go right back to why horses? Well, again, they can respond to your energy. They can't just talk to you. They do communicate. You got to learn their body language. They lay their ears back, stand back. They might not like you too well. They might always switching their tail and things like that. And I always go over safety demo with people, so no one ever feels alarmed. My horses are pretty bombshell. So this is Marco on both these pictures. So he is present. He is totally in releasing. He's just relaxing, being in the present moment. And that's actually a good friend of mine, and she was really disappointed because she came to another event and she heard Marco sigh. They would literally go, and that's a very good sign of release. And she was so disappointed. She says, he didn't sigh. And then I didn't take this picture. I was in the round pen with some other people. And I got these pictures back, and I was like, oh my gosh. I sent that to Trish. I was like, Trish, that is total 100% a sign. He was releasing, and he was totally relaxed, and he was giving it to you. He was showing her. And some horses will show you, too, how to release, how to be present, how to calm down. They hear our heartbeats about 4 to 5 feet away, they say. Some think that's hoax, but they can. They can sense you. They can feel your vibration. We're all just walking energy balls. They feel you, and if it's good energy or bad energy. So they're attracted to you or they're not attracted to you. But if you change it, even in their presence, they'll come to you. But they are actually very, very healthy for you because they will match your heart rate, but they can actually bring you down and lower your heart rate. I'm actually getting involved with a lady that's starting a nonprofit. It's called Somatic Equine Experience. And we are going to do scientific studies with some colleges. She just talked to Yale today, actually, and we're going to do heart rate variation, HRV, and then we work with our skin, the electronics of our skin. We do questionnaires before and after a session, and we're going to put this together, and then we're going to prove to people this is the way to go. But like I said, they can regulate your nervous system, your ventral nervous system. They lower your cortisol levels, regulate the heart rate, and they promote the relaxation. Who doesn't want that? So result, faster emotional awareness, and it's a breakthrough. So there are a few pictures, and this is things that I've offered. I put some, you'll see some things on the table. I've got some things going that are special events, but I also just put on, if people reach out to me and can organize, I can customize 2, 4, 6 hour, whatever you want. And we can work with horses. I can tie in access bars, which I will talk about in Reiki. But I do individual sessions. I will start June 9th with my girls. I'm getting 6 more girls this summer. And I'm so excited. We had so much fun. We met once a month for 7 weeks. Once a week for 7 weeks. And we worked on self-discovery. We literally, every day was about visions, goals. We worked on our affirmations. We worked on our strengths. We did one with situational awareness our last day because there's a board that chooses these girls, and through the school and social workers. And so I had the cop, Aaron Berg, came, and we put on these big suits, we beat him up. The girls kind of like that. It was fun. He's coming back this year too. So we took hikes. We did vision boards. They bring a lunch and then we take a little break. But we just it was fun. We did one hike we did was so fun. We rode on these rocks. We wrote things we wanted to release, and so they rode on these rocks. And we took a hike. And so my back 40 pasture. We went into the woods. We start walking down a path, and I said, you just start throwing them. Just throw what you want to release. They thought that was pretty cool. So those mosquitoes came out. I was like, look at that. I started a program called Little Footprints and Big Hearts. So it's like 7-year-olds on up. Spend about 2 hours with them, and I teach them just grooming, teach them fun facts about horses. Oh, I could spend hours telling you about fun facts. They're pretty cool. And we go in the arena and they learn to lead them. They go through some obstacle courses. They learn about boundaries, what the horses are and their own boundaries. It's kind of a safety lesson. I can do corporate team building workshops. So if businesses have employees that want to take a day or a couple hours and just do some fun, got some really fun ones that really opens people's eyes. You kind of see some people that are the quiet ones come out of the woodwork and are the ones that are helping the others, and it's just neat to see that, and you get borrowed benefit from that. You learn lessons. I've got a woman empowerment workshop I'm putting on. I've got 3 of them organized this year. So this was a couple that came called Date at the Farm. I can do mother-daughters, best friends. I can make it fun. We can, if someone calls and says, I'm just stressed, I'm stuck, I've been triggered a lot, I know about 20 different experiences. So we can customize them. And I don't just always stick to my plan. I have caught myself just switching gears and I go a different route. If I see the person, I think of something else that they might need. So, and then this is a picture of a sound bath with horses. So we got Marco in here's picture, small. And this is a dear friend, and I had her sit in my gravity chair. And Small came over first and totally scanned her from her head to her feet. Just stay there. Got it. If you look on my website, I got a video of it. And then pretty soon Marco was visiting the other people, and then he came over and stood at her head. And then they left, but then they came back. This is when they came back and totally just checking her out. And I was telling you, horses can read chakras and they can feel tense in their body. Well, after we left, it was all over with, and I was staying guard. I was like making sure she's comfortable. They weren't tipping her over or anything. The horses are pretty safe. They don't want to step on you. They don't want to hurt you. But she says, "Do you know why they did that?" And it was hard to kind of explain. I said, "Well, they had their reasons. They felt that you needed assistance, or you needed some movement of some of your energy flow going on, or your block." She says, "I know." That's why she goes, "I just had a PET scan done this week." Like, "Oh, we need to talk first." We hadn't talked for about a week. I said, and she was really worried that they were trying to tell her something. The PET scans were good, but she was going through a couple more tests. I said, "Why don't you come back?" So I did my very first access bars with the horses. So she came back later that week. And what I did with my 2 horses, they didn't show too much. It was their first time in the arena with a person laying on a table. But when we took the horses back to the barn, the corral, Small, because she wasn't in there with her, literally came right up to her, and she started at her feet, and she just scanned up her and down her, and then she started licking her calf and capsule to it. And I learned from Jody, that is the meridian to the gallbladder? Turns out she had kidney stones. So I'm like, okay. She was telling us. So, you hear magical stories about dogs that can smell cancer and treat people, or give them warning. And of course, this can't too. I think all animals can. Tell you the truth, cats are very sentient too. But I know it just brought tears to my eyes. I just couldn't believe what Small was doing. And yeah, she just stood there, and the tears were coming down her, and we just took it in. We were in the presence of the horse. Pretty special. So what a workshop consists of, like if we do one-on-one, or I have a group of ladies like this, my kids, we always meet and greet. We have our session, I call it the container. We just visit, share, and kind of go over some, policy, confidential ground rules, because everything, what happens in the arena stays in the arena kind of thing. Then we will do some experiences. We always debrief after every single one. And even if 1 or 2 people didn't do the experience, they always get borrowed benefit. They always get something out of it, because you're always thinking anyway, but you're sharing in the moment, whether you know the person or not. So, and then we did a full day workshop, then went to break for lunch, and then we come back and do a few more. And then I always end my day with a letter to self. I always ask people to write a letter to themselves, their higher being, whether they want to give them encouragement or tell them what they've learned or what they want to work on, whatever. And I hang on to that for 6 months, and then I mail it out to them. And then I give them a capture card with a little beautiful picture, and then it's just something that they take home, because I wanted to write down what are you taking home with you today, and what are you leaving in the sand. And then that's their gift and a reminder that what they did that day. So we'll always have pictures with the horses, of course.
The letter to self is very empowering when you get that letter.
Mhm.
I've written 2 of them. I've been to 2 different events at Christine's, and I say, wow, I really said that. That's pretty amazing.
I've done a few of my own with some co-mates, and I was like, wow. And it was at the beginning when I was doing this, I went to Colorado where I did my training. It was a 9-month training and pretty kind of intense. We did a lot of Zooms and stuff. Then I went to a 3-day camp, and we practiced all the experiences. Met some wonderful women. They're some of my dearest friends now. Actually, Jane Salko, where I just went to Connecticut. And I'm going to be part of her nonprofit. But I did a letter there, and I was still wondering if this is my purpose. Is this really doing what I need to be doing? And at the end of it, I wrote, "You got this, girl." When I wrote, then I did a lot. I started a journal the day I came back from that camp. I wrote for 210 days straight. And every day I tried to do something towards this business, because I started from ground zero. Besides taking the course, it was like, becoming a corporation, ordering this, finding your logo, doing a website. There's a lot to it, as you well know, having a business. And it just all came to play. It was just meeting them, wonderful, great women, all people. So, do you want to have any questions on what the event entails, or?
I'm guessing you're getting into it, but what exactly are access bars? Or what?
I will.
So, okay.
Next spring, right
Oh,
here.
okay. Yeah, what does that mean?
So additional offerings, and if you recognize that lady right there, okay. She's come out twice, and so this is small, and then that's Rue, that's my horse. So I only bring 2 at a time, because if you put all 4 of them together, they kind of get little, especially small. She's got small but big britches, as I say. So I've done access bars, and then Reiki, and I'm learning the Reiki part, and I'm feeling really comfortable with that. But I also can do this in my house. Sometimes, one time I was doing it with Penny, and the flies just kind of got overbearing at certain times of the year, so we moved her into the house. But so I prefer doing 60 minutes. What did I say, Jody? 30 minutes I could do it, but if you just needed to pick me up and you know what it's about, that would be okay. But I really recommend doing a 60-minute, because you're just taking your time, and I get a lot of it too. Every time I do an access bars, I feel like I'm doing something. So put it bluntly, access bars clear space. There's 32 points on your head. You lay on this really comfortable table I got, even have a heating pad if you need it. And I just start working. I make sure your energy's flowed and open, and then I just start working. And every point on your head, it's all over, represents something. All the way from like money, communications, hope and dreams, your health, your sexuality, your body, your confirmation. It's aging toaster. There's some really funky names, but they all represent something. So, and like I said, I want to incorporate this, and I have with the horses present. So, because as you can tell, I have an indoor arena.
That was very healing for me. I had been bit by something a few weeks prior, and I was pretty sick. And when I went out there, I just felt like my soul it just felt, free. I went away feeling just amazing, considering I had been so sick for so long. It was really, really healing. And you can't really tell in the picture of small, but she kept releasing for me. Yes. Yawning and helping me clear that stuff out.
They leech, they call it. Sounds like a terrible word, but when they just yawn constantly, they're literally, it's kind of like they're pulling that energy, that excess energy, whether good or bad, and then they yawn to release it. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times I'll watch some videos, they'll do that, and then they take their nose and they like rub on their leg. Mm-hmm. They're like getting rid of it. It's kind of like taking a washcloth and washing their face. So, and they'll lick and chew. They'll just chew and lick, and then they'll blink a lot, and then they'll stretch. I got a picture. I can literally make I can do Reiki on the horses. It's pretty cool. And Marco does the downward dog. Honest to God, he's down there. He's going like this. I was like, what in the world? And I think he was showing Fiona who I was doing. And I wasn't even doing Reiki on Marco. I was just right kind of one pin over. I was working on Fiona, my white horse, who's pretty timid. She's got a little bit of a bad back, so she's a little always anxious and ready to get out of the way. And I think he was teaching her how to relax and how to. And then right after he did the downward dog, she literally arched her neck like this, kind of like what you see cartoons do. And I was like, oh my God, she really. That was pretty special. So, I don't know, do we want to try that?
Yeah, so if you escape out of here, right?
Right, well, let's see here.
And then, just go to your brows, right? Should still be that. Yeah.
Okay, we're ready to go. So
Are you
this
sharing the
is just
screen?
almost a
Oh, I
4-minute
should
video.
stop. I'm going to pause the recording.
Oh, that's right. Because it doesn't.
I don't think they want us.
Are you sharing the sound of the?
Yep, we
Yeah.
made.
All right. I think.
Go from current stop slide, the second one. Up at the top, you can do from current slide.
Oh,
Get us back.
and do I need to go tell it? I think I need to tell this.
Nope, you're still sharing. You're all good.
Just to ensure I have all the extras. So this is kind of the breakdown here. You get more peaceful mind, increased relaxation, better outlook on life, stress relief, space to refresh your body, and increased energy and creativity. I usually try to follow up and ask how people slept. And I want to say, I can't speak for Jody, but I think the couple times you've done it, you said you slept better. I did it to one of my dear friends from Montana. She has MS. She's had it since 2000. And she always had kind of her hip was hurting and she had an ankle. And I didn't know about her ankle. She twisted like 4 years prior. And while we were on the table, we did it in the house because it was colder. She came later in the year. And while I was doing it, she literally could feel the tingling in her hip. And then same with her foot, her ankle got warm. And I'm not working on her. I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing like reflexology or anything like that. I'm just up here. And when she got off the table, she literally, a lot of times she's caught, she just planted it. She said, oh my gosh. And she said her hip felt better. And I'm not saying it stayed, permanently, but she couldn't believe it. She says, and she lives in North Dakota. I wish I lived closer. Because honestly, if a person started it and it was really, it might take a session or two to kind of make you see the big difference. It's like going to get a massage. Like I said, it can't hurt you none. Some people go to sleep. And it's really, really good for children. If you can get and you really, when you do access bars, you're not supposed to play music. You think you want it mindful, like when you're getting a massage or something. Don't play music because I think it takes away from your subconscious and your conscious mind. But you can watch TV. That doesn't make sense to me.
No.
So like with kids, if you have this little stick out there or you have a TV, they can sit there and watch TV and you can run bars on them. There's proof that kids do better in homework in their studies.
It's not pressure.
It's as much as you were interested in.
okay.
When I have them run on me, I like to feel it and not stick in there and dimple me. That's why I have short fingernails. I usually wish I have to go clip my fingernails on a dagger anyway. But it's light pressure. Like I don't do a whole lot with Jody, but you want enough to feel it. It's not the idea of it. So yeah.
Why is it called access bars? Like, why is the bars part?
Those points they're calling the bars. The access comes from access consciousness. So
Don't they kind of form a bar, like on your model that you have on your dog?
there is some. There's the power band, and then you got your this other that connects over. Then all the rest are just points. So I don't know what they call them, bars. Ask Dave. So, and I do packages with that too, because I really wish I hope people come more than once. So I got a 3 package, a 5 package, and a 10 package, and it's like better deals. And I can do it if you only have 45 minutes to spend with me. I had a lady that come and that's what all she had. I said, let's do that. But we spent all the time with the horses beforehand too. So if someone wanted to come spend just time with the horses, not necessarily do an experience, then come to the bars, I'm open to anything, whatever they want. So I like to, for one-on-ones, because you don't have time to do two people and be with them, incorporate the access bars with the one-on-one workshop or an event. It works out well. You could spend your full 4 hours. You can do 2 or 3 experiences and do a session at access bars. So, and then this is just some testimonials that I have that they're on their websites and whatnot, but they're all the way from the access bars to what's taking place. I had the Tiffany Academy School came out and did kind of I was promoting my girls camp with them last year, and then they came out for like a, oh gosh, what do you call it when they, field trip. And so we did a couple fun communicating experiences, and the girls had so much fun. It was good for the horses too. So it's kind of like what makes equine experiences different. I don't really want to call it therapy, but deep down, that's kind of what it is. It's just meaningful connection. Be fun. You're in a safe place. You're being very mindful with some intuitive animals. And really do find your insight. This was a deer. I love that picture of Margot with Marie. She was really working on some big decisions, and she walked out of the arena that day knowing what she was going to do. She had the answer inside of her all the time. She just needed a little confidence builder. So it's pretty neat to see that. And of course, this is small again. But every session is customized for the individual, family, groups, teams. Whoever wants to come. We'll just breathe, connect, discover what's waiting inside you.
A question about horses, wild horses versus these horses.
Mm-hmm.
And they say you have to break the horses when you bring them in and that kind of thing to get them so that they won't just work in a herd or something.
Okay.
What are your
Well, they're
thoughts
all
on
on
that?
defense. They don't know no difference. But if they trust you, it might take time to get their trust. They trust you. Well, have you guys ever watched the movie Mustang? It's a true story. It's there's prisons that literally go capture wild Mustangs, and then as a money maker or whatever, inmates they break them,
I did do that one.
and they connect and they bond, and it's therapy for them. It's therapy for the horse, because a lot of horses. So my 2 horses. Well, we don't even know. So Marco's story. He came from out west. He was a ranch horse, but we don't have. There's no paper track. Quarter horses generally do have papers, so you know their lineage. You know kind of from who they went to. You don't know what happened and why they got sold. You know, and Karis got him. It's been about 8-9 years now. Who she got him from, the guy didn't. They just did not go bond. Some horses don't like men, but there might be a story behind it. It's just like children don't trust. You know, if they were punished or whatever, they could have been beat on. People use whips, spurs. They tie them down. There's different techniques for breaking. I don't believe in a lot of that. They don't want to be beat, whatever. And Small has been owned by Karis since she's 4 months old, and she's been her whole time with Marco. So Marco's the only one that can line her out. Like, Marco, would you please just, discipline her, would you? But she's a good girl. She's very sentient. She is amazing. She's got a lot of good gifts. So, but horses they don't want to hurt you. But if they've been traumatized and they've been hurt, they're on their defense. Like I said, they're prey animals. So.
How do you keep them from interacting with each other and, working with people? Because I know horses that like to.
Yeah, but it's like I say, I usually work with 2 at a time.
Oh.
Like these 2 get along really good, and my 2 get along fairly
They
good.
behave.
And even Rue's a little dominant. But I generally am just working, if I'm working with just one person or a group, we're only doing one event experience, I'm generally only working with 1 horse. When I do team building, I will have 2 horses because we're working with groups of people. But then I always have a handler too. So I make sure I can do a lot on my own, but if I feel like I have a big group, like if I do team building for a company, I will definitely get a handler or two. Because no one has so much space and whatnot. But no, they're pretty. These guys, they know each other so well. They're pretty safe.
What's the biggest group that you've had?
10. One of my first ones, it was kind of a box budget. Yeah, 10 in one. That's pretty fun.
Mhm.
And I'll rotate the horses in and out. Markle's so funny. If he's out at the barn in the corral area, if I bring other girls in, he's fretting. He has to see him. He will not eat unless he sees all of his girls. Because he's the only boy. So he's a king. He's used to small going into the arena. Karis rides all the time. But if I take my two in, he won't shut up. I can hear him. He gets all worked up. He can run into the pasture. He's funny. But he's a story when I used him on my first workshop. It was Mother's Day 2 years ago. And I just brought him by himself, and Small stayed out. I didn't bring her in. And I was doing an experience with Whisper to a Horse. And I had everyone speak to Marco, tell him something you've never told anybody, or something you want to share, whatever. And you can do it telepathically, or you can talk to him. And he was kind of restless because his one is Small. She's supposed to be in this barn with me, or in this arena. But each time I could tell when the person had their eyes closed, and you could just feel the vibes going. They were talking to Marco. He would stop. He would go right to them, and he would either stand around them, put his head on their shoulder, or he'd just walk up right to him and acknowledge him. I heard you. And then he'd go back to the end. He wasn't being restless, he was being restless, but he wasn't being harmful anyway. He was just pacing back and forth a little bit. And he did that 4 times in a row. So you tell me horses can't hear you? They're very telepathic. We are too, we just don't know. We just don't listen to it. So, my future. I'm so excited. See these little guys? I literally am getting siblings to those. I don't think they're born yet, but they're coming. I have my shelter.
Oh.
It just need to put tin on it. But the guy's coming back to put tin on it. So I have a little goat house. And I want to build a little, or bring in a tiny house or just something. I want to do retreats. And so I want to bring in more animals, but I am getting the Nigerian dwarf goats. They are, I put a down payment. They're on order. I might have to wait till October I might have to wait for another doe that's not due till, she's not going to have her babies until August. But they never know how many they're going to have. So a lot of them are committed, but she has 2 extra. I'm getting them. I would love to do retreats. I would love to do mother-daughter retreats or best friend retreats or couples. So that's why I want to found that online. It's like, ooh, that is perfect. I have a big backyard. So, and if anything, just have electricity. I do have, if you saw in this other, see that door there? That's a bathroom. So I have a toilet and a sink in there, and it's all the mechanics to my house. So I've got the restroom, and I will put a door on to go straight out to my backyard, but I like to put an outdoor shower and then have a little house. And so, of course, be seasonal now.
Yeah.
It's summer. So, and then I have officially filled out my application for, in July, I am going to start the 2-year Equine Consult program. And with that, I am going to be able to better serve clients that I can work with veterans, I can work with victims, I can work with children with severe challenges, because I'm going to go deep. I'm going to learn Gestalt. And the horses are my partner with that, just as they are now. But they'll be asked to work a little harder, as I will be too. So this is Melissa Pierce, who was my instructor, and that's who I'm going to be certified. So our lives are influenced by unexpected events. Our humanity lies in our ability to choose our responses, leading to personal growth. With friendship and guidance, we discover our truth and destiny. Horses serve as a valuable guides and teachers, offering companionship on life's journey. Those who hear the whispers of a horse's heart are truly blessed. And you really can. I have an experience. I just say, move with a horse, and I literally have you feel it, smell it, feel the softness, feel the mane, feel everything, feel their breathing. And then I ask you to match your breathing with them. And if you feel anxious, the horse will just stay steady, and you will match him. That's how you lower the stress. and their anxiety. So, and this is Jane Selko, actually. I took this at when we went to our camp. So that's the lady I'm working and partnering up with. We built this amazing nonprofit. So here, a little bit more about Gestalt wholeness. Gestalt is a German word meaning whole. It's been around many, many years, but with Touch by a Horse, that's most of Pearson's business. I can integrate the Gestalt and I partner with the horses, and there's been actually major studies on how it's helped people, and just kind of like what we're doing, Jane and I are going to be doing with their heart rate variable. So you work inside the arena, you work outside the arena, you do role playing, you dig deep. You don't just talk, you feel. Somatic, it's a lot of somatics, which is mind and body. So you feel it, you get it out. So benefits. I couldn't downsize this, so I will just read it. So those who would benefit from EGC, which is Equine Gestalt Coaching, which is what I will become in 2 years. It's benefit individuals who are carrying emotions such as anger, fear, grief, jealousy, loneliness, unworthiness, powerlessness, or abandonment. These feelings are often connected to past experiences that have not yet fully processed or been released. When these emotions remain unresolved, they can show up in our present lives as limited beliefs, self-doubt, emotional blocks, or patterns that keep us from feeling whole and free. Through the Gestalt process, clients are gently supported in the present moment to bring unconscious feelings into conscious awareness. This creates an opportunity to complete the unfinished business. Release emotional energy, reconnect with their authentic self. So, put in a nutshell, that's what it's about. And that's what I want to do. They actually help your journey. They help you grow. They help you become more aware of yourself. And when you're less anxious and blocked and your patterns change to the better, you have a better life. You see life through a different lens. You feel different. People see it, honestly. So that's my mission. And it's pretty intense. It's going to be a 2-year program. I do a lot of Zooming. I have to go 5 times in 2 years. They call them cores. So I go to Canada. She moved from Colorado to Canada last year. Beautiful farm. And we have our own life coach. I am working the process as I'm going through it. So if I don't even have one client, it won't be cheap, but it'll be beneficial for me. So I'm looking forward to that too. This is the herd. More pictures. You can see, I'm going to show you that she's got the most beautiful blue eyes. About as blue as you see here. Yeah, she's pretty sweet. This is Rue. She's a halflinger. Then you got Marco and Small. And Fiona is actually American White / quarter horse, so she's actually a breed. She was bred for Liberty work, which is the horses that jump, that go in the air and do all these dance moves out in the arena with 10 other horses. Pretty cool. But she was a twin, literally, and both white. She's got a little pinto in her too, so she never looks completely clean. I did not know that when I got her. I was like, why can't I get this off of her? Oh yeah, but she's got a little catch in her back end a little bit. She moves she can move fast, but I have not rode her yet. So I want to give her that experience. I've had her under saddle. I could ride Rue. I get on her bareback in the arena and poof, I can feel it because you can tell she's wintered well. I put a grazing muzzle on her in the summertime, and it's called the Jenny Craig diet. Still, it's helping, but yeah, she likes her gray. She's the first one that talks to me in the morning. About time maybe I hear her start graying. I acclimate them to grass. They're locked in right now because the sugars are so high, and as it's growing, and it's just like us eating candy. So I'm trying to keep the carbs down. So when I start introducing them back to it, I only turn them out like 15 minutes. First day, 30 minutes. I work up to 4 hours, and then they go out at night. So sometimes they like me, sometimes they don't. Here are some pictures of the farm. So I'm only, I I think I'm 4 miles north of town. So F, you know where Road F is? So taking 25, turn at F at the Air Tech, turn there. And just got that about 3 miles, and I'm up on a bench, so I have caught, that's my view. So the boundary is the fence, there's the trees. And then this is, I'm in the back, so I've got all this. I got 32 acres. A really good friend took that picture, so that's when you look up on there. That's the arena. I got double rainbow one day. So I do have someone come and put up hay and whatnot, but I might still, at one point, here's the corral and stuff, but I might put a outdoor, and then I can, if it's really nice, we can do stuff outside. So we can do stuff in the corral too, because I do have a dry lot there. So, and then here's some pictures of a workshop. So I've done, it was one of the girls' camp. That's the girls, and I've done 2 one-on-ones. I did the couple, and then we loved it. This is a dear friend, Tanya. She actually came and helped me with my first day of the girls' camp last year. But she is a gestultist. So we always meet once a month on Zoom, all of us equine facilitators, and I know the gestultists do too, and we share what we're doing, we get ideas, we give them ideas, we just support each other. Support our community very well. Yeah. And the contact info. And I see I need to put the Airman Com over there.
So do you have any thoughts on like horse racing, like what they use horses for and all of that?
They're used for a lot of different things. I know I actually went to my first horse races over at Canterbury last fall, and that was an experience. But it's not like punishment. I mean, they were bred for that. Those horses want to do it. I actually had a thoroughbred off the track. She in her 4th race she ever ran, she reached out and then she in her front, from her back to her front, and she chipped a bone in her fetlock, and she still finished the race 4th. I mean, that's the drive they have. But she needed to be healed, and they didn't feel like they couldn't do surgery because it could have been a bone chip, like, you know, people when chip your, you don't know if it's going to stay loose or what. So I had her for 8 months, and I actually had her x-rayed, and it fused. So it wasn't floating around. She could have possibly kept on running, but they retired her. Once they retire a thoroughbred from the horse track, they call them OTBs, or off the track bred. And she was a fish. She could never go back to racing again. Long story. God, I was bullied, put it that way. And so they took her to this old horse facility that takes other thoroughbreds. College got her, and they rode her, and then they sold her, even though I owned her. Officially had the papers on her. I know, I'm not fighting it, because I have a gut feeling she went to a good home, because they're very cautious with who buys, so I'm okay with it, but I still would like to know who bought her, because I went and visited her twice when she got there. She was just at New Richmond. Right, yeah, New Richmond. So that's bitter. But having her, but she was ready. She was ready to do something, I could tell. And I didn't have time to ride and whatnot, and I'm trying to balance, and she was only 3. And I feel like a 3-year-old's kind of like a toddler when it comes to doing what I'm doing. She needed to have some life experience. So what's the best horses? Marco's 22. Ruth, 11. Fiona's 10 now. And Small is 6, but she's amazing. But she's still, a little sassy pants and like a teenager. But you need experienced horses. So a lot of horses that a lot of my herd mates, the ladies I do these classes with, it's rescued horses. Even from kill pins. Or off the track thoroughbreds that have retired and have got some age. They're kind of like us. We're pretty smart, right? We're wise as older we get, so horses are the same way. So we kind of
Such a culture, horse racing is such a culture, and the richer people, who I would say.
Yes,
like
definitely.
They just all have horses if they're up there in, wealth.
Lots of money. Yes.
And
Lots of money. Well, show horses, dressage, jumping, all that. Yeah. So I'm a cowgirl. I come from Montana. I've just been here this is going on my 6th year. I was here during COVID time for about a year and a half. Then I went back to Montana, sold my land, rebought, built a place. And then I started this program. And because I always was tied, I wasn't ranching no more. And I needed to be with my animals, and the horses especially. And I still want to get there, big gal. But then should have found a little cow. I am going to get a cow. I am eventually going to get some cows to come graze. I almost did it this year, but then I got so much going on, I backed out. So I'm just going to hay versus have rotational grazing. But I found this program. And so I came back to be with a friend in Baldwin who has 20 horses, and she teaches lessons, and she needed some help. She was having knee surgery. I thought, that's perfect. So I was working for the FSA back in Joliet, Montana, and I quit and came here. And I didn't know if I'd stay in or what, but I think deep down I knew. And this farm I actually looked at it before I left. I was in no way state ready to buy anything because I still had land in Montana. But I saw this place, and what it did is it triggered me to do something. So I did it, went home, back to Montana, did this. And when I came back around, I was looking at places. I thought, well, something just kind of pops out at me. I might maybe I'll just sell what I got and buy it. Lord and behold, I was placed right below my farm now. And I was looking at it, and I didn't know where I was at. I didn't have my bearings. And I looked up the hill. I was like, oh my gosh, I've been there. And so I looked at that like 2 years ago. And the lady, my realtor, knew what I was looking for. Needed property. It'd be great to have a barn. And because I didn't have horses yet. Literally about 10 days into it, she called. She goes, I found the perfect place. Check your email. And I did. And I'm looking at these pictures. I thought, why does this look familiar? And all the paint was there, and there was a lot of cement in front. And I was like, oh my gosh. It's that farm. And I told it was a different realtor at the time. I said, that comes up for sale, I'm buying it. Well, I ate my words. I had to buy it. So here I am. It was just meant to be. It's meant to be. So I'm trying to make it work. I mean, I know I'm making it work, but I'm trying to follow through with my passion and my goal and spread the word, and they will come, I hope.
Are the goats just for mowing the lawn?
No, they're going to be penned. They're going to be for fun.
Okay, so for fun.
I look at the girls and what adult female or male doesn't like little goats? Because these are dwarf goats, so they're going to be fun all the time. And I've always wanted
You have to do goat yoga. You have to.
Yeah, I know. I was going to do yoga. I was like, well, we'll see. They get pretty friendly. They won't go far, so I'll have them probably. I'm sure I'll have them out and about. Then I'd love to get, if someone ends up with a bum calf or something and tame a calf, turns into a cow. It'd be cool to have a miniature Highlander, which are like lots of money. But there is such a thing as therapy cows. So we'll see. I got chickens. I got 3 chickens. I got a chicken that's out in the woods.
She's still on the run.
She's still on the run. Karen. I named her Karen. I think I hurt her feelings.
I think I have a book that's called Chickens on the Run.
Oh,
no, it's Chicken Breakout because they break out of the coop.
oh, well, she got one. She came pecking at my door.
And she didn't let her in. So
I know, I should have let her in. And then that day I went to work and Karis came home. She said, I can't find Karen. So she saddled up Marco and was going for a ride. She didn't expect to see him. She was in the back 40. She was as far back as she could get in my pasture. That one picture I showed you. And we tried to get her back, but where she came from was turkeys. And she never seen them because she was inside all the time, but she heard the gobbles because they never shut up. Well, she never does either. That's why she's called Karen. And I think she just was drawn to the turkeys. So every time I hear a turkey, which is every morning and night, I think, Karen. So she's a turkey, I call her. She's a turkey. And my neighbor next to me has got game cams. They've seen her, and they had hikers. He likes to mow a trail, and they walk all the time. And we had some friends there, and I said, he texted me, goes, yeah, I had some hikers out, and they came up on a chicken. They walked right up to it, like, that's Karen. She's still at large. So I think she's still out there. I need to go I need to start dating a man as a fisherman and give me his.
There would be a fox out there.
I know, that's my worry.
Or a hawk, like,
Yeah. Well, I worry where she's getting her water, and then, she gets them. That's because the coyotes come in. We even have bear back there, so.
She's sleeping in the trees at night.
I don't know. She might be now.
That's why a lot of them don't go in the trees at night.
She didn't fly too much when I had her, but I only had her for a few days. But the gray one stayed. So I had Sylvie, we call her, and then I got Ebby and a rooster. So I have 2 chickens. So I get 2 eggs a day. It's good.
And so what are your programs coming up?
So this is just a little blurb of what I do. But so next weekend, actually.
Do you have something going on this coming weekend?
I do.
Something on the second one.
Where's my Mother's Day? Oh,
No, this Saturday is the painting or?
No,
Isn't that the second?
it was. We had to cancel.
Oh,
The people that were coming canceled, and another one.
Oh,
And there's 2 big horse events going on this weekend.
Mm.
We didn't know. But I was going to do this really amazing artwork with layered paint with your connection with your horse or another animal or another person. And we were going to do numerology. We're still doing it. So I will put it on my website. I think we'll wait till fall when it's quieter and calm and people start slowing down. But I ran out of my brochure. So Mother's Day weekend on May 9th, so Saturday, not Sunday, Mother's Day. I did this last year. It's Unbridled Unbridled Connection. Sorry, Unbridled Empowerment's the kids. That's what Jody and Penny came to last year. And we did self-care last year, but I'm doing more. I'm changing it up. It's more on being seen, heard, and held. And we're going to do experiences. It's a 4-hour, 12:30 to 4:30, and we'll have some refreshments and whatnot, but we'll do 4 experiences probably. We're going to be mindful, spend time with the horses, and get to know each other. So, and I've still got some openings for that. I'd like to kind of limit to 8 to 10, so we have time for everybody. But that is next Saturday. And that's on my website if you have any questions more on that. Then Jane Salko, who is doing the C, this is what she's doing now. This is what I did on Sunday. It's my big boots. Here is actually the QR code to the CSIT nonprofit, but this is the QR code to my event. She loves numbers, so this is actually like a 300 value, but we're only charging 111, so 111. But it's you end with yoga, but it's all somatic, and you are present with the horse. It's a really neat experience. You dig deep with some stuff. It's pretty neat. And I'm going to spin off from that and do this. I would love to get together with women once a month for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. I'm just going to pick the 4th Wednesday. You got to just pick a day because everyone's got stuff going on. And we're just going to work on some self-reflection stuff for about 5 weeks. So, but I love the people that come to Big Boots. If you come to the Big Boots, this only costs $100 for all 5 weeks, or it's $149 is what I was charging. But they tie in together really well. And this summer, every second Tuesday, I'm having Sound Back with Horses. So nobody's come to that. And if you go to my website, you'll see videos and lots of pictures. And I don't know if anybody knows Andy Yacht. Actually works in the same building that Jody does. He does, do I say it right? Roping? Roping. Not roping. It's another modality. Similar to, not like access bars, but
it's more like a deep massage, pulling, stretching, and it
digs into the fascia.
Yes.
It's like you're making bread.
Yeah, you need to, I guess. And you can do all kinds of sessions. I thought he was going to be able to come tonight and explain more, but he does. So the sound bath. I'm sorry if anyone doesn't know that. The crystal bowls or the Tibetan brass bowls. But you have the mallet, and it just makes that sound. It's pretty cool. And then it lasts from 6 to 7, and we have the pasture I use has big trees, so there's shade. Just bring your yoga mat or your most favorite comfortable chair, pillow, blanket, and just enjoy the peace. And not saying that the cats won't come visit you too. We're out in the pasture with the horses, and they usually graze well. About halfway through, they come in, and then the cats come in, and the rooster has been known to come in. I think the one you came to,
Marco
Marco
was just carrying on.
It was kind of just squawking a little bit and stayed on the outside of the fence, and we were just getting done. Angela was just kind of quit the sound bowl. She was kind of just, making everyone kind of wake up to it all. And this rooster crawls underneath the fence, and he just goes like this and cock-a-doodle-doo, and then walks out. It's like, show's over, folks. As soon as we were done, everyone just laughed. It was just perfect timing. I think I even got that on video. It was funny. So, yeah.
right. Well, thank you so much.
Yes, well, I
Yes,
appreciate
you coming.
Is there any questions? Oh, look at a lot of stuff. I start talking about this and I just keep going. There's so much more I want to do.
Do you have any trouble with any wild animals that you have to be concerned about coming after horses, hyenas, or
No,
whatever?
like I said, there's some bear that I think about in the too. They've seen them on the game cameras, but they don't want to be bothered. So Marco's pretty always alert. So he was getting used to the turkeys at certain times, so he'd be out there just alert, looking around. But I've never really seen them too startled. I have more issues at 4th of July when the fireworks are going on. I got him in that one night because I had a neighbor just right across the F was shooting the big ones, and it was loud. If it's here in town, they bother him at all. And they're used to hunting season. Everyone says, "Do you put orange blankets on?" I was like, "They're not in the trees." I do have 3 paddocks. They always get grazing, but they're right there by my house. So it's just fun just to walk out there in the pasture with them. And if that's what somebody wants to do, that's what we'll do. I said I will customize. I ask people just to, let's do a consultation call. It'll cost you a dime, and let's just visit and see what you're looking for. Some people don't even know. So then I just share about the access bars or just time with the horses. Or I've donated a few of them to different fundraisers. So I've got a grandma with her grandkids are going to be coming out soon. Just spend time, just let them groom the horses and learn facts. And yeah, it's good for all. And I always say women, but I really enjoyed the couple I had, and the guy, he got a lot out of it too. I kind of work on relationship stuff. So if you are of interest or you know anyone, just spread the word. I have some business cards there. Just Breathe with a Horse is my website. I'm updating it all the time. So keep things going. But the next, like my very next event is May 9th.
Where's the horse event this weekend? The horse events?
They're both around Baldwin area. There's some stuff, and then there's some shows and whatnot, and barrel racing's gotten started and stuff. Not saying it had to be horsey people, but it's ones that understood it with that numerology, because it's connection with horses. It's kind of what we were gearing towards, but then, like we said, it could have been, maybe it's a favorite dog you have or had, or a person. It's just our artwork was, it was a template of a horse, but that could represent anybody or anything. But the numerology is pretty cool. We have a book that Holly Vaness, you know her? She's from Menominee originally, but she lives in Spring Valley. Dapple Pony Designs is her business. Beautiful artwork, just beautiful. And she was the one that was going to do the art part of it. I did it with my horse Fiona, and it was really neat. You even journal on the paper before you start about your, like if it's a struggle or what you want to work on, and then you start coloring it over it with layers of acrylics and watercolors, markers, and it's really cool. My artwork got done, everyone thought it was a mosaic glass, and it's just paper. So we'll do that later too. So thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Stop in a minute. Can you stop the